Hi everybody, I just want to say hello. Where I'm at today, it's kind of a little windy and cold out there, but I went for a walk for about a mile, just to go ahead and get into the energy of um, talking about things with everybody. So, as in my last video, my name is Louise. I am on a spiritual journey. Part of my journey is to not only learn things for myself, but to be able to express and share them to other people and to speak my truth and be in my truth. Um, so today, when I did my runes, I received runes that were about things take time and fruitation, and whatever you whatever you plant, you will reap. And which is what karma is, or for me, the number 8 is a very prominent number in my life. I have a lot of things that revolve around the number 8, and things that have happened with the number 8 being there. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was part of that whole learning what you sow, you reap. Is that I had to learn about how to burn away the old to make room for the new in my life. And when it comes to different things of perspectives and things of that matter, this year alone, I have had to let go of things. And I can tell you, if you really know me, you would know that I'm the type of person that I can light a match and I'll throw it in the trash can and watch it all burn on fire. But because of my arrogance earlier this year and of things like that, I had put people in positions to where they had to make choices that they probably would have not made. But because of those choices, I have been able to really go inwards to figure out who I am. And I thank them for it. It's been a really hard road to be able to do that, because I'm a type of person who's got to know all the answers of why things are going on the way that they are, and that life is not fair, and how I'm a victim and I hurt, but yet at the same time, am I really a victim if I know that I'm doing things that aren't okay, you know? So today is December 1st, and I have 9 more days until I come to my 6-month anniversary of the death and rebirth of myself. There's been a lot that's happened this year, and it's crazy. I think the one thing that resonates in my head, and I think the reason why I need to talk about it, is like when a tower moment comes in your life and it completely shatters and breaks your whole foundation of who you thought you were and where you come from. And there's all these cracks and stuff like that. And everything's blown away. And you have nothing left. But at the same time, you can go for anything because you have nothing to lose anymore. And with having everything stripped away and walking away, because I felt like there was a lot of doors that were closed and nothing was opening up, I went out on a journey. I'm still on the journey. It's taken me a little bit to try to figure out how to go about this. I'm still learning how to go about this whole journey. But I am really looking for my star family out there, my light working family, whoever, to teach me. But as I was talking to a girlfriend yesterday, what I did learn is that my teachers are everybody that's around me that affects me. And my whole world is what's teaching me right now to be something better. You do have to crawl before you can walk. And then after you walk, then you can learn how to run. And I'm at a point right now where I've only been reborn for 5 months. And I keep pushing myself so hard to purge everything because I know that there's something greater out there and that it will help other people. And, you know, along this way, there's been some really crazy things that I've learned. Something I want to share that I think would be really important and that also may help other people is not only do I need to burn away the old to make room for the new, which I think is like something other people need to hear too. Because it's that time of season to get rid of old stuff so that it can die, and so you can plant the ground to make it fertile. One of the major things in my life that helped me on a day that I had my first 30 days of being back in life was that I had a breakdown, but it wasn't until the next day that I realized what this breakdown was about. But at that moment when I was in treatment, I went to a treatment facility in Florida. I'm originally from Montana. I've lived there for about 21 years. Not by choice, but that's where I've been. Right now I am out on the road with a friend of mine. So something that I wanted to talk about that helps with me with learning how to burn away the old to make room for the new is as the energy is released into a present experience, whether in a physical form or an emotional one, sometimes we bring into it the past energy from an experience we had and then misinterpret it as having to do with the experience we are having in the present. If your reaction to a present situation is more extreme than the situation logically warrants, this is a sign that your present situation is merely triggering past emotions that you didn't deal with adequately in your past. The best way to handle this is to recognize when this has happened before. You stop resisting it and find a way to handle this present experience differently. And then what that means to me is when you find a situation that you may be in, whether it's with somebody or it's yourself, and you overreact more than what you need to for the situation, it is triggering other issues that are inside you that could be causing you to overreact, or somebody else may be overreacting from it. And when you can get to a point that you can realize, okay, so this happened and this happened, well, what kind of issues did that bring up for me? Well, when I was a kid, I'll give an example. I am a type of person who has not really liked people to be in an aggressive stance at me and point their finger like this. Because when I grew up, my mother used to do that and then she would backhand us. And so to me, that is a very triggering moment when I'm in a confrontation with somebody or that we're in a heated debate. And they start pointing their finger at me because it automatically sends my body into this knee-jerk reaction that I am going into attack mode because I'm getting super defensive because the fact is that they're pointing their finger. And usually when my mom used to point a finger, she would lecture us, point a finger, scream at us, point her finger, and she would wave it. And I swear to God, I felt like that finger was like Pinocchio's nose. Like it would just kept getting longer and longer and longer because me and my other sisters, me and my other sister at the time, actually, we knew somebody was going to get backhanded. And usually it was the first person who flinched because it would just drive my mom crazy. Now, I can laugh about this now, but at the time, these are really real things that are issues, that have been issues for me. And now if somebody points their finger at me, I'm just like, hey, could you please, be mindful because you're, directing your negativity at me. But at one time in my life, I would get up off of my seat, or I would sit there and I would warn them because the next step is coming is, I'm watching them in a fight or flight mode in myself. and assessing the situation. And, you know, anger doesn't solve anything, but it did bring up some good valid points in me of why certain things I overreact to. And so I've had to release a lot of that kind of stuff because those are things inside myself that keep me down, you know. Now with that situation, it brought up a lot of things, but I get into that stuff I will in my book. But the only other thing that I wanted to do today is that I know it's probably enough of hearing from me. So let me go ahead and I will draw a rune and we'll talk about it. And then I will draw a couple cards. Now the rune is for everybody, for us to just have something to ponder on today. So I asked for one rune for people to be able to ponder on. So I almost put it back. So this is the rune from yesterday that's showing up right now, and that is Amana's. And if you remember yesterday, we were talking about relations and relationships. And when we get that rune reversed, it's still about the self and about the relationships with the self. And it's just so you know that no rune, whether it's right side up or upside down, is actually meant to be considered good or bad. Because really what it is it's just opportunities for us to grow in a situation that we haven't had an opportunity to do before. I like to call them opportunities instead of challenges or words that are like not so great in vibrations, you know. When I say an opportunity, what that means is that I have an opportunity to change my behavior or my reaction to something so that I don't fall back into those old behaviors and keep manifesting those same kind of issues and cycles in my life. And that's the important part. So today, if you, with this rune upside down, what it means is that if you feel blocked, Manas urges you to begin to being clear with yourself. Do not turn to others now, but look inside in silence for the enemy of your progress. No matter what area of your life is in disarray, stop and consider. You will recognize the outer enemy as but a reflection of what you have not until now been able or willing to recognize as coming from within. Above all, do not give yourself airs. Breaking the momentum of past habits is a challenge here. In the life of the spirit, you are always at the beginning. How awesome that I had just read you something about me doing that kind of stuff, and this is what I'm talking to you about, is that you have to break old cycles and behaviors with doing in a new direction. And that is how you lay the foreground for you reap what you sow. And whether it's good or bad. And yeah, I know in life that things happen to us in a way that we're like, why God? God, why did this happen to me? And I know somebody's going to be watching this and that I don't know who you are, but I want you to know, and this is for anybody out there, that God, your universe, your higher self, whoever you want to call it, because it is inside us and it's outside of us and it's all around us, does not give us things in our lives as a way to make us fail. He puts it there as a way to help you realize that you can overcome something, take it and turn it into something good, and realize that not everything that gets ripped away from you is necessarily a bad fucking thing. And if you can stop resisting whatever it is that's causing you to have this persistence of things in life, things change a lot better because your perception changes. That's why I call them opportunities instead of challenges or difficulties or initiations. It is an initiation, but using the word opportunities means that I have an opportunity to choose to do something different. And that is a awesome, awesome thing to do, because then it gets me out of my head of thinking I have to control it. And sometimes the best thing that you can ever do is just not do anything at all and just sit. Anyways, you gotta burn it away, you know? All right. So I want to take my cards and I'm going to do a little prayer. It's called the Serenity Prayer. And I do use the word God, because to me, God is much more than anything that a religion can describe. I am not biased against any religion at all, just so that you know. Like I said, I use these as tools to help get a different perspective and to go into a higher self. I mean, it was in sync with what I just said. I started that and I pulled this out in front of you. So that tells you something about how I can do this. What an awesome gift, and I thank you. So today I want these cards to be blessed, and any information that comes out with the cards that we pull will help anyone out there that is looking for the help. I know that this video will hit somebody at the divine timing of whenever it's supposed to, and I appreciate everything and anything that my positive spirits have to say. Before I go into these cards, I'm seeing a tree. I don't know if that means something to somebody, but it's far off. And the tree is like my tree of life that I have, but it has all the leaves on it. And it is in a silhouette, and they are looking off at it. And, you know, it's kind of like some hills, and there's a little girl sitting there looking off. Trees have such power to them. And that little girl looking off is looking at that tree, but also realizing that someone's coming soon. Someone's coming home soon. And it's in the evening time. I don't know. That's for somebody. I don't know exactly who that's for. But there's a little girl waiting for you. Anyhow. And they're looking at a tree. And the tree is full. So it could be an orchard tree. It could be any kind of tree. But I see growth is what I see in it. And that's the awesome part. I guess it goes with you reap what you sow. Anyhow. Let's get a good reading here, and I will pull 2 cards today because this is my second day. Thank you. Just a message for everybody out here that can help them. Thank you. And if you like what I'm saying, whether you do or don't, push a like or dislike button. It's okay. I'm just trying this journey, and if you want to join me in my journey, that's great. Now the thing is I'm trying to get things set up to where I could do personal readings. I do have a Facebook page that you can get a hold of me on. It's called Sunchild Louise, and I can set up an appointment that way. I do have PayPal and Venmo, so, and they're both hooked up to that. Thank you. So, anyhow, let's get to it. Just ask whoever to come through in a positive way to give a nice, wonderful message to everybody. There we go. All right. We got too many cards here. Okay. So I'm going to read these 4 cards because this is obviously where it needs to go. Like I said before, when I read cards, I'm not reading them the way, you know, it could be the meaning for them, but I'm going off of whatever the pictures say and what comes out for me, okay? So what I got today was we have the sun upside down, and this is usually the most positive card in the deck is what everybody likes to say. Yeah, in a sense, but how I feel about it is the sun in this card is showing us that, you know, we're in a time where everything is upside down. You know, it's all topsy-turvy. The universe is starting to come to a different way, and that the sun is shining on, you know, like, you can take this as when I'm talking about things get burned away. So the sun is down on the ground, but yeah, I would look at this as a fire that's getting lit up and to hold brightly into the universe so that it can show you that you have opportunities out there. I have the 6 of Swords that goes with it. And the 6 of Swords to me has always been about, you know, like, you, no matter how far you go, you are going to be right there. And when this card is upside down to me, what it is saying is that you're starting to release all that bullshit that has kept you mentally locked in your head. I mean, and this is what it has done for me. This is how I release the stuff that mentally has been keeping me sick, and to be of my truth. And sometimes being of your truth means that you have the water is going to come up above you, and it's going to make you have to feel like that you're underwater and that you're going to have to come up eventually so that you can breathe. But why not leave those burdens down? Leave those thoughts that are not of good, healthy thoughts, negative self-talk, your ego, and leave it down. Because really what it comes down to is when you do that, the sun is above it, and then you have the universe right there. And that's how I'm going to read these 2 cards together today, is because really you have, it's like a mirror image of day and night, you know. And I hope that helps some people out there with these 2 cards. These 2 cards that I pulled were the Death card, which I personally find the Death card to probably be this one and the Tower, to be the most inspirational and spiritual cards, you know, for me, because I constantly am going through a death cycle and rebirth, and it's like the phoenix. And you know, I see the flower. You know, there's a lot of blue and black in this card, and to me, when there had to be a lot of things that had to die to go with the victory of the swords. But sometimes, you know, and this is upside down. So to me, really, when it's right side up and you have these victories, at what cost were your victories? How many deaths had to happen in order for you to get what you wanted? You know? Is it really a victory when you had to kill everything in your life, or everything had to die in order for it to be there? I mean, even upside down, and you took it like this, you know, he's walking away from the death, and he's got his swords, which means his thoughts. And the thing is everything has a cost. It's just, what are you willing to get rid of in order to be healthier? And that's all I have for today. Like my video if you like it. If you want to leave a comment so that I can know what's, you know, what you think. Yeah, thank you. Day number 2. Peace out, everybody. Love you.